Hello everyone, my name is Olivia, and here is the ultimate guide to the movies and books that you should be watching and reading this summer. Despite being a summer baby, I am not a fan of the summer. I have POTS, so I overheat very quickly, but I wanted to be able to recommend some movies and books that are set during the summer because it is the perfect time to wind down and consume these pieces of media. So the first movie that I have to recommend is Luca. Luca is such a precious Pixar film. All of their movies are precious, but there was something so enamoring about Luca, and it's probably my obsession with Italy. Luca follows the friendship between two boys in the Italian Riviera, and they form this unlikely friendship because Luca is actually kind of like a mermaid who's able to turn into a human, and they get into these summer hijinks. They have these wonderful moments together in this coastal town, and this is just a beautiful movie to put on to enjoy the Italian coastal landscape, to enjoy the food that is present in this movie, and it's overall a very lighthearted, very cute film that I fell in love with. I have not rewatched it since I initially saw it when it came out, but it's the type of movie that I can definitely see myself putting back on to rewatch because it's so comforting, it's so vibrant, it's so beautiful. It makes you wish that you could be in Italy as well. The next movie that I have to recommend is an underrated one that I constantly recommend, and it is Driveways. We follow a mother and her young son who move to the mother's sister's house after she passes away. So the mother is set on cleaning up this house and selling it, and in between all of that, her young son befriends the elderly neighbor who's next door, who is pretty alone in his own right, and they're very different, but also very similar in their own journeys in the way that they seek companionship, they seek community, they get to learn from one another, and it's just a beautiful movie that reminds you of the importance of community, the importance of human connection, and speaking to the neighbors around you because you can learn so much from them, you can form a really beautiful friendship with them, and you can lean on them, especially during a hard time when this young boy is kind of helping his mother navigate her grief of losing her sister. It's a beautiful film. It's very lush, it's very quiet, and it's the type of film that I put on randomly one day, and it really moved me and affected me, and I constantly think about it since I initially saw it. The next movie that I have to recommend is a movie that I saw in my cinema class in university, and it is Do the Right Thing, directed by Spike Lee. This follows a group of people on a sweltering summer day in Brooklyn as tensions rise and racism and bigotry reaches a crescendo of violence that changes everyone's lives forever. This is my first introduction to Spike Lee, and I was enamored by his direction, his characterization, his exploration of racism in the world today and how it affects those in cities where they're living so together, they're so close-knit. And when it's a very hot summer day, tension does rise and people do get a little bit snippy with one another. And what happens when that snippiness and these microaggressions become overt aggressions, and what happens when that leads to violence that you can no longer ignore. And this is just a great introduction to Spike Lee if you have not seen a movie of his before. Another movie that I saw with my digital movie club, the Cinebun Club, which is located in my Discord. It's free to join. Anyone can join the movie club. We watch one movie every single month together, and during last year, I believe, we had a summertime theme, and we watched the movie Summertime. This follows the iconic Katharine Hepburn as she goes to Italy on a solo trip. Over the course of this film, she falls in love with a local. Not only is this another gorgeous film because it's set in Italy, can you tell that I love Italy? I thought this was a wonderful summertime old Hollywood film that captured my heart, and I just fell in love with it completely. A lighthearted, very silly film that you can put on during the summer is Asteroid City. This is directed by Wes Anderson, and this cast is stacked, and we follow a group of people who all visit Asteroid City for their own reasons. There is kind of like a science fair happening for these young kids. Some people just stop at Asteroid City because their car broke down, and we follow them as they are trapped in this remote city in the middle of a desert because of a outlandish event that happens that prevents them from leaving. It's a very unique Wes Anderson film in the way that he structures the narrative because there are two, maybe even three stories that are in conversation with one another, and the way that it's done is so interesting and so unique, and I've never seen something like that before. But also, I love to always tell people that this is a film that I saw in theaters with friends, and the entire theater not only was packed, but everyone was laughing the entire time the film was playing. It was such a heartwarming moment to have an audience react to a film together, and I feel like I miss that energy. I feel like I don't find that often when I'm watching a film in the cinema, and this is the type of movie that I just always remember the experience because it was so lighthearted and it was so wonderful to be able to hear a group of people be so happy while watching a film. If you're looking for something that's kind of like set in the desert, not necessarily set on like the coastal side like Summertime and Luca, this one's more like desert landscape, very hot, everyone's stuck together, but like not in a scary way, just in a very fun, quirky way. Another movie and also a book that I constantly reference every time there is a heat wave is The Great Gatsby. Yes, I'm recommending The Great Gatsby movie with Leonardo DiCaprio. I love that movie. And when I initially saw it on a field trip, why did we see that on a field trip? I think it's because we all read The Great Gatsby that year, and then our teachers took us on a field trip in high school to see the movie. I don't know, but my entire class saw The Great Gatsby together, and I fell in love with it. The soundtrack is super fun. Leonardo DiCaprio really embodies Jay Gatsby really well, and Tobey Maguire is a perfect Nick. This is actually the only Baz Luhrmann film that I enjoy. I really don't like his direction. Through Nick's eyes, this entire summer is a whirlwind. He is thrust into this world of luxury and opulence, and he is witnessing these people just kind of steamroll their way through life, and it was captured perfectly through Baz Luhrmann's direction. It felt like a kaleidoscope that you were trapped in, and the music really brought the story to life. I know a lot of people had issues that it felt a little bit too modern, but it felt fresh and new and a different type of take on The Great Gatsby. I wouldn't necessarily know if F. Scott Fitzgerald would enjoy this adaptation, but I also really don't care what he thinks because I'm pretty sure he stole like a lot of his wife's writing and inserted it into The Great Gatsby, so like fuck him. But also, I love this movie. It's fun, it's exhilarating, it is the type of movie that makes you wish that you can throw these luxurious parties with friends and strangers and just kind of have the time of your life. Nobody can tell me that it's bad because I had a great time with it, and if I had a great time with it, I don't care what other people think about it. The only horror movie that I have on my list that I have to recommend is The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I'm sure there are a plethora of summertime horror movies to watch, but this one is the perfect one in my eyes because it is so stifling, it is so suffocating as we follow these group of people who are being hunted down by this deranged family. And I love reading the IMDb facts whenever I watch a film, and I was reading it, and there's this one scene where our final girl is trapped in the house where this deranged family lives, and they said in the IMDb fun facts that it was like 103 degrees in the house when they were filming. They had to block out the windows to kind of make it dark, and because everything was blocked and closed off, it felt like a sauna in there. And that entire scene, our main actress felt like she was actually going to be killed because she was so in the moment, and these actors were also so in the moment that it felt genuinely terrifying for her. And I really enjoyed that fun fact. I was like, wow, they really committed to the craft. They committed to the effect of this heat wave that is so present in the film. It was one of those few horror movies that left me like completely in awe of how horrifying it was, and it's one of those movies that I would never rewatch because it really just affected me. It was one of those horror movies where I was like, okay, yeah, I was horrified. I don't need to see that again. I would be remiss if I didn't include this movie in this list, and it is Holes. I recently rewatched Holes and showed it to my dad for the first time, and I was like, we read this book in middle school. And he was like, why are you reading about these children being trapped in this labor camp, digging holes in 100-degree heat in middle school? And I was like, man, I don't know. The movie is fantastic. I don't remember the book. I don't remember if it is a true book to movie adaptation of the book. I believe it is. I believe it's very faithful to the text. And I really enjoyed rewatching Holes. It stands the test of time. It is a bit long, But it is a perfect movie to watch during the summer because it is so stifling. We follow a group of kids who are literally like trapped on this camp where they are forced to dig 6 foot by 6 foot holes every single day. Similar to me, every single character is dripping in sweat, and it is a wonderful movie. It really does stand the test of time. If you have not rewatched Holes in a while, put that movie on. It's fun. It's great. It's really entertaining. I cannot believe that we read that in middle school. But we've read some crazy things in middle school. I will admit that. My school was a little bit different. And for my final movie that you should watch this summer, I highly recommend that you watch Dirty Dancing. Dirty Dancing is one of my favorite movies of all time. This was my designated sleepover movie with my best friend Sarah. Every time we had a sleepover in high school, we would put on Dirty Dancing, swoon over Patrick Swayze, fall in love with Jennifer Grey's hair, and have so much fun rewatching it over and over and over again. Dirty Dancing is set in the Catskills during the summer as we follow Baby and her family as they stay in this beautiful resort, and Baby falls in love with one of the dance instructors who's played by Patrick Swayze, and Johnny, who is Patrick Swayze's character, has to take part in this dance competition, but his partner ends up not being able to take part in it, so he has to teach Baby how to be the perfect dance partner. This movie is so fun. Dirty Dancing is sexy, it's nostalgic, the wardrobe is great. I want every single one of Baby's outfits. I want to look like Jennifer Grey, but my hair's like not fluffy enough. But the music is wonderful. Sarah always plays it in her car, and the dances are really fun. It's just a really great summer film to put on, to rewatch over and over and over again, and to watch with your friends one night. It is the perfect summer movie. It makes me jealous that people are able to go away for 2+ months during the summer to the Catskills to stay on a beautiful resort. I want to live like that. That would be nice. It is the perfect summer movie. Now let's move on to the couple of books that I have curated that are the perfect reads to pick up during the summertime. The first one that I have to recommend is The Guest by Emma Cline. At the beginning of the synopsis, it literally says, "Summer is coming to a close in the east end of Long Island and Alex is no longer welcome." We follow our main character, Alex, who is literally just scamming her way across Long Island. She has spent the entirety of her summer scamming this man into staying in his mansion, and he kind of caught on to what she was doing and he kicked her out, and she cannot return back to Manhattan because she scammed her way through that island. So she's like, oh shit, what do I do? Let me keep scamming my way through Long Island to find places to stay to continue this horrible lifestyle that I have curated for myself. It is juicy. It is horrifying to watch someone make horrible life choices. It's the perfect read to give you secondhand anxiety because there are some people who live some pretty wild lives, and whenever I hear about them, I get anxious for them. And that's how I felt listening to this audiobook because Alex gave me so much anxiety, and this was a really entertaining read. This is the type of read where you're not going to like the main character, you're not going to really understand why she is the way she is, but if you like messy main characters, if you like stories set during the summertime, if you like women scamming their way through men's lives, this is the book for you. An entire book series that I would recommend that you read during the summer is the Rebel Blue Ranch series. This is written by Lila Sage. We follow a group of cowboys who live and work in Wyoming in the Rebel Blue Ranch, and each novel is a different couple. And I think that Lila Sage's writing journey is really impressive because this book, the first book in the series, was a little bit sparse for me in terms of the writing style. I just thought it wasn't the strongest, but as the novels go on, you can see her writing style get stronger and stronger, and I really loved the third book, and I have the fourth book on my TBR to read for this summer, and I just think that she's really honing in on her craft and improving. They're fun, they're lighthearted, they're the perfect beach read or road trip read, or like if you were staying in a cabin with friends. Bring this series, you can like binge them, you can read them in one sitting for sure. Not like the entire series, I mean like you can read one book per sitting, You know what I mean? Another novel that I would highly recommend that I don't see a lot of people recommending over on YouTube, TikTok, or Instagram is A Sky Painted Gold by Laura Wood. This is another book that kind of reminds me of The Great Gatsby. The Cardew siblings are a brother and a sister who are very affluent, and they live a little bit a ways away from our main character Lou, who is a normal middle-class girl, and she falls into this world of these summer parties and these secrets, and each of the siblings have something to hide. It's a story that I thought was so beautifully written. The writing style was just so lush, so atmospheric, and it's just a beautiful YA novel that I don't see a lot of people reading or recommending. Another book to pick up this summer is Cantoras. Cantoras follows 5 women who go to the Uruguayan coastline where they have a shed that they own together, and in this shed they are able to truly be themselves because they're all sapphic, and they are living during the 1970s where being queer can get you persecuted. This historical fiction was not only a gorgeous sapphic read, but also a wonderful book to learn more about the history of Uruguay and how it's changed over time. And there were a lot of chapters and moments in this book that were eerily similar to the political landscape of the US today that I thought were so eye-opening and concerning, and it was just a book that I got a lot out of that I would highly recommend. And the final book that I have to recommend that you read during the summer that I read on the beach during the summer and I'll never forget it is Happy Place by Emily Henry. I feel like you can even hear like the sand that is in between all the pages because I brought this to the beach a lot to read it. We follow Harriet and Wynne, who recently broke up but don't want to tell that to their friend group because they don't want to ruin their last summer in this beautiful Maine cabin together. So this is kind of like a fake dating romance where they have to pretend to still be a couple even though they broke up, and they have a lot of unspoken words kind of flowing between them, but it's so much more than that because this is an exploration of the changing dynamics of a friend group, especially in your late 20s and early 30s. It follows this friend group as they are on the precipice of change. There's so much happening in each of their lives that showcases what adulthood feels like. Everyone's in different stages in life, and we see this friend group as they are transitioning into a different time period and how there are growing pains and how their friendship is going to look a lot different now that they're older, and it's not going to be the same as it was when they were in college. And I think that exploration is so vital for people in their 20s who are just leaving college, who are navigating the changes of a friend group where you were able to see them every day, but now you see them maybe once a week, maybe once a month, maybe once a year. And that change is scary, and I love the way that it was explored in Happy Place. It feels so much more than a romance. It's a very great exploration of the shifting dynamics in a friend group, and I loved that aspect of it. And overall, I ate this up on the beach. I was kicking my feet, I was giggling, I was falling in love with this story. This is my favorite Emily Henry book, so I cannot recommend it enough. I just thought it was absolutely fantastic. And those are the essential movies and books that you should be watching and reading during the summer. I would love to get some movie and book recommendations for the summer down below to add to my own list. If you want to follow me anywhere else on social media, all my links are down below. If you want to join my YouTube membership to get videos early from me, and in general support my channel, I would greatly appreciate it, and thank you so much to Matt for being a Cafecito member. If you stayed this far in the video, leave a sun emoji of your choice to see who stays for the longest in all of my videos. If you do, I really do appreciate it. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you in another video very soon. Also, if you have any video ideas that you would like to see from me in the future, they could be sit-down videos, they could be movie videos, book videos, vlog ideas, let me know. I would love to hear your thoughts down below. Okay, bye!